Hello everyone, this is Martabin Valoch and you're watching my YouTube channel Sani Fehad, which aims to invoke a little bit of humanity in all of us through awareness and understanding. So the second topic that I want to talk about is in regards to the Parsha Lecha, where the Torah or Hashem introduces us to Abraham, who was the first Jew and who was the first Jew and a descendant of Noah, and with whom Hashem made a covenant, with whom and his preceding descendants, Hashem made a covenant to, bring light to this world and on to the other nations of Noah. So I actually saw these two, the Parsha Noach and Lecha, in a bit of connection with each other. As in the earlier video that I talked about Noach being a little vulnerable and a little confused, and that's why he got drunk through the harvest of his vineyard, and he needed to let it go and go with the new task, which was to him and to his sons, and sorry, his entire family, in fact. Lech Lecha, basically, many of the scholars and rabbis have translated as to go to yourself rather than go to a place, but it also translates as go to a place where I will show you. And Hashem then showed Abraham that place is the promised land, Israel, currently speaking in the current context. So before the moment Abraham arrives in this promised land, there is this famine. I mean, there is no cultivation and hunger and all that, and all of a sudden, with a huge amount of confusion and vulnerability and fear, Abraham decides to have a stop in Egypt until the famine is, until it's over. So when he is in Egypt, which is by and large a very hardcore pagan and polytheist society, he again encounters an amount of fear and vulnerability that now that he has left his land of his forefathers and his people and his parents, he's a complete stranger in this new land, which is rather much more polytheist than his own people, and nobody knows him, and there he has to live a life of a monotheist with principles and ideals that Hashem has showed him, or he has realized through his own neshama. It must have been a very difficult situation, but nevertheless, as time progresses, it shows that since he is brave enough and courageous enough, he overcomes his fears and his vulnerabilities and his insecurities and his preconceived notions, and comes out from Egypt into the promised land as much wealthier man, and in a much more reputed and much more respected position as a person. And he also gets to have a Egyptian princess as his as a companion, and a sort of a helper to his wife, which will later become his wife and the mother of his firstborn son, Ishmael. So this whole thing of Lecha resonates with Noah being vulnerable, fearful, and with these preconceived notions of what will happen, how will the new generation of humanity would turn out to be, and how everything will be fixed or be normal again. Lech Lecha, I mean, it's another level of vulnerability where a couple sets out on a journey to go to some place where Hashem will tell them, and then also it's a part of the covenant aspect that he has to get out of his ancestral lands and leave the ways of his people and create another society from his own descendants, which will be the ambassadors, so to speak, of monotheism and Hashem, and the reality that Abraham has come across. And it shows that if we are courageous enough to take this leap of faith on Hashem and move towards us. I mean, personally for me, this whole concept of Lech Lecha is so much resonating that ever since I've attended the Muslim Jewish Conference in 2011, I have been moved. And it was a very slow, gradual, but a very steady transformation of me getting to know the Jewish history, the Jewish story, then the Jewish Judaism as in religion and spiritual conscience, so to speak. And then gradually, I mean, what year could be better than 2021, when it's like a full circle. It's like 10 years, reminding me of the 10 generation between Adam and Noah. So 10 years, a full circle. I'm in 2021, and I'm looking back and I'm saying, okay, all that journey, all that, and in between that journey, there were so many points where I had this exile and return happening. So there is this rabbi called David Solomon. He said a very beautiful thing about the entire concept of exile and return. He says that the Israelites are continuously moving in and out of the promised land, in and out from Israel, sort of metaphorically living the Lech Lecha of Abraham, coming and going. And the whole concept was so beautiful, and for me it was very personal, and it resonated with my it resonated in not exactly, but in my own way, I could relate into my own sort of journey of life, of understanding of Judaism and the Jewish story. So the whole thing of Lech Lecha, which is to go to yourself, or to go to that state where you can be vulnerable yet have the courage to have this leap of faith that if Hashem is with us, and if our inner divine soul is enlightened enough and is connected to the divine of Hashem, we can bring change into our surroundings, and not just our surroundings, the entire world. So it takes a lot of courage and a huge amount of leap of faith and trust to be able to, do what Noah did, restarting the whole process of humanity and its mission to the world. And then, and within his generation of Noah, Abraham was chosen to have a very divine purpose, which was rather very difficult than other purposes that other generations of Noah or descendants of Noah have. So every soul which is actually a descendant of Noah has a mission and purpose. But out of that, Abraham was sort of selected for a slightly difficult, so to speak, and a very difficult and a very vulnerable, mission, which need a lot of courage and lot of deterrence. And so yeah, and I think these two portions actually kind of made me think of so many things, and also to relate and resonate my personal Lecha and my personal beginning, or a beginning of sort of a new life, which Noah was responsible, and a new life in a way that Abraham and his family created after following Hashem and Hashem's commandment of Lecha, to going to your true self, your true divine self, and your true divine mission. I hope you like this video. I hope you guys also are able to resonate with these divine stories, and sort of, and I would add one more thing before I take a leave. I haven't finished Torah. I am a very poor student and a very slow learner. I am actually a very slow learner, and I actually like it, to be very honest. I take my time to understand stuff before I can, move on. So I feel whoever is studying Torah or studying or Talmud or any of the religious books, whether even Quran and the New Testament, the Bible and everything, or Bhagavad Gita or Ramayana, whatever religious books, sacred books that you're reading, I would recommend, at least to extent that I am studying Torah. And I would say, at least for Torah, if you are interested in reading Torah, read it with a conscious heart, a conscious soul, and a conscious mind. Because this is not just a religious book of laws. It's a narration. It's a conversation of a journey and a continuous dialogue and communication monologue between Hashem and its chosen people, and actually the whole of the humanity. This is something I sometimes think that it's like, when I read it personally, I read it like, it's a book of my grandfather, who is writing his own journey with his wife and his family and this and that. And I'm really sorry if that is offensive, but it's like a conversation. It's like a conversation. It's like a story that Hashem narrates and wants us to somehow try to understand and try to manifest what he's saying, and also resonate. That's very important. I personally feel that I had been trying to read Torah before, like in 2015, 2014. I was seriously sort of saying, I need to read this. I need to, even the translation, forget about the Hebrew and stuff, just translation. I was just not finding the connection. But I think when you learn to give yourself time and try to resonate with those people, with the story, with Hashem, it's in a way one has to feel that you're not reading the Torah as of you, but it's like you're having a conversation with Hashem while you're reading and knowing Torah. So not only it's a conversation between the Israelites and Hashem, but it's also a narration that you need an utmost connection with Hashem, so that your inner divineness could connect with the divine message or resonation on a personal level. So I think I'm not making sense. Yeah, it's very difficult to actually explain what you actually sort of feel. But anyways, I wish whoever is inspired enough to read religious books, whether Torah, Talmud, or whatever that interests you, do read them. I mean, it's good to have awareness and knowledge. And after all, if we don't read and don't discover new things, what would we be as humans? We did eat our ancestors, and we did eat the fruit of tree of the knowledge. So might as well try exploring different things, and just to add on to our understanding and our knowledge of things and stuff. So I wish you all, the people, very best in discovering new things, new concepts, new perspectives, and growing both intellectually, emotionally, and also spiritually, and also divinely. That's also very important. So take care wherever you are. Hope you have all the fun. Thank you.